Welcome to Australia and World War II, the crisis of 1942. Today is part 3 of 4. We look at May to September 1942. On the 13th of March 1942, General Douglas Macarthur, his wife Jean, son Arthur and key staff left the besieged base of Corridor in the Philippines in 4 patrol boats on a 2-day, 600-mile journey across the Sulu Sea to Mindanao through Japanese-controlled waters. At Mindanao, the party boarded 2 B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft. The B-17s took off on March the 17th and flew 1,500 miles to the isolated Batchelor Airport near Darwin in Australia. Macarthur rode in the radio operator's seat. At Batchelor, they then boarded a specially provided domestic DC-3 aircraft which took them to Alice Springs. One US reporter described the town in the heart of the outback. At the time, Alice Springs was rough and primitive, more like a 19th century tombstone. Most of Macarthur's staff flew ahead to Adelaide, but his wife Jean refused to board a plane again. The weekly passenger train having left Alice Springs the day before, railway men assembled a 7-car train from Macarthur, his family and 3 US officers to take them southwards on the Central Australia Railway. A sleeping car sent from the south was picked up from a siding on the way. 2 Australian sergeants were aboard to serve meals. An army nurse undertook the housekeeping. To reach the dining or sleeping car, passengers had to wait until the locomotive stopped, then get off and walk along the train. The trip took 70 hours and Macarthur slept for the first time in days. When the train reached Tarari in South Australia, Macarthur met the waiting media and gave his famous "I shall return" speech. Macarthur was to be appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Allied Forces in the Southwest Pacific. The Imperial Japanese Navy aimed to capture Port Moresby in New Guinea. Allied forces, having broken Japanese naval codes, intercepted this plan and dispatched Task Force 17, commanded by Rear Admiral Fletcher, featuring carriers USS Lexington and USS Yorktown, along with Australian cruiser forces to stop them. The Battle of the Coral Sea of 4th of the 8th of May 1942 was a pivotal naval engagement. The US lost the fleet carrier USS Lexington and destroyer USS Sims, while the USS Yorktown was damaged. The Japanese lost the light carrier Shoho and experienced significant damage to the fleet carrier, while the carrier Zukaku lost most of its air group. The result was a strategic victory for the US in that the Japanese had to turn their invasion forces for Port Moresby around. On the night of May 31st, the 1st of June, 3 Japanese Type A midget submarines, launched from a larger submarine offshore, entered Sydney Harbour, causing panic and sinking the depot ship HMAS Cuttlebull, which killed 19 Australian and 2 British sailors. 1 submarine was caught in the anti-submarine net and blew itself up. A second one launched torpedoes aimed at the Chicago, but hitting the Cuttlebull. Later, in the early hours of 1st of June, a 3rd midget submarine entered the harbour, and was later detected at Taylor's Bay, where it was disabled. The following day, RAN divers went out to investigate, and they found the engine still running in the boat on Taylor's Bay, and the 2 crew had basically shot themselves. The other submarine disappeared without trace until it was found by divers off Sydney's northern beaches in 2006. In the months ahead, the Japanese would advance in New Guinea, and there would be some key battles including Kokoda. Stay tuned for part 4 to watch the final section. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.